Hello. Hey everybody, good morning. Welcome to Creative Mornings. Buffalo is creative. Welcome to a sunshining day. I'm really excited to be here. For those of you that don't know me, I am Alexa Joan Wajed. I am a chef, an artist, and a creative. And I'm only one part of Eat Off Art. And Eat Off Art is multidimensional. We are an agency, a platform, and an affirmation all in one, creating transformative experiences through creativity, food, and art. And being a creative, yes, I can go off of the cuff, but I'm also prepared. I have my notes and my cheat sheet. So if you see me going back and forth, that's why. But today I am here as a chef for Buffalo is Creative, and to discuss the topic of stress. We all know what that is. We're all very familiar. Thankfully and through experience, I have forged ahead to try and create kind of a low stress life for myself, if that's even possible. And the goal in that is kind of removing the want and the need to be perfect for anybody other than myself. So for me, that's low stress. See, natural hair, cut it off. Don't need to be concerned with all that stuff. So as a chef, stress is kind of part of the knife kit, so to speak, and part of the uniform. Stress is always kind of around us when we're in the production kitchen and in the commercial kitchen. It's fun, it's exciting, it's stressful, it's frustrating, it's high energy. There's a lot going on. There's heat of the moment. There is people singing, people dancing, people throwing things. Yes, people have thrown things in the kitchens that I have been in. You can probably get cussed out in the kitchen. And if you're not one to use a curse word, if you work in the kitchen, that might be your very first one. So that's kind of what being in the kitchen is, but only a small part of it. It's really invigorating. It's really exciting. It's a wonderful place to be creative. It's a wonderful place to express yourself is in the kitchen. So it's really fantastic. What I've learned over the years, and I haven't worked in a lot of commercial kitchens, but I've been in the hospitality industry for almost over 20 years. So I'm familiar with the front of the house and the back of the house. So through my experiences, I've learned that the key to operating successfully when it comes to those high pressure and high stressful areas are skill, personality, character, how easily you can let things go, and most importantly, mise en place. I'm sure you all have heard that word. It's a very popular word. It applies to the kitchen specifically. It simply means everything in its place. But I have learned that mise en place is more than just being in the kitchen. I have applied it to my daily professional and personal life ever since I discovered the word. Yes, I discovered it. I did, just me. But mise en place is so important because it's true. It's if you have everything where it's supposed to be, if you are prepared, if you know what you're doing, if you know who to ask for assistance if you need it, then everything will go according to plan. And if it doesn't, then it's going to go according to some things or someone's plan. So that is one of my daily mantras, along with everything for us is for us. Simply being. Just do what you do and be you, and you'll get what you need or what you want. So today I'm preparing breakfast for you. This is a little different format maybe for Creative Mornings in Buffalo, but I welcome you to my kitchen. And I'm making you a little breakfast. And it's a breakfast that everybody knows about. It's been around for years. It's very simple. But maybe because it's so simple, you've forgotten all about it. I'm making chia pudding. Yes, chia pudding. I'm making the base, but there's some things that I'll share with you that you can add to it to make it unique and interesting. So this is something that I would typically do at night, is prepare it because it needs a good amount of time to kind of gel and come together and create all those awesome flavors. And chia seeds are really awesome because they're packed with fiber, protein, and omega-3s. So I have my jar. I'm only gonna make one serving, but if I make it for the family or make it for the week, which is a lot easier, I'll actually put it in a big bowl or a big container, and then I just make, a big vat of it, and then just scoop it out when I need it. So really simple, 1 cup of milk. And I don't use a lot of measuring cups and spoons because I just kind of cook with intuition and feeling, and that helps relieve a little bit of stress, because if you have a measuring cup that's not clean, then you got to go and clean it. It just causes a whole lot of things. But I will say this measuring cup, an 1/8 cup, is like my favorite because it's a perfect 1 ounce measure. And it's 1 ounce equals 2 tablespoons. So I don't have to fuss with 2 tablespoon measures. I just take one of these and I scoop it in, because a perfect measurement for a single serving of chia seeds is 2 tablespoons. So I'm going to get that ready. I have vanilla. Again, just kind of eye it. And then I have a little bit of sweetener, usually about maybe 1 teaspoon. I'm using maple syrup this time. And whenever you're baking or whenever you're making things, a little bit of salt goes a long way. So a pinch of, I use pink Himalayan salt, but you could also use sea salt. I don't really use, iodized salt or anything like that. I like to use the Himalayan or the sea salt because it has, extra goodness in it, and it has some antioxidants and, and essential amino acids in it. So now, I'm gonna have my chia seeds. Just gonna dump them in and stir it up. You all remember chia seeds started with the chia pet? Well, who knew that you'd be eating them as a superfood or an omega food? When you add chia seeds, they naturally gel. So what's gonna happen is they're gonna start getting sticky and getting, with the liquid, and you have to make sure you stir it. Otherwise, you're gonna get glops and things, and you don't wanna do that. So kind of stir it for the first couple minutes, off and on, watch it. If the chia seeds settle, give it another stir, because you don't want them to clop up too much. You could also shake this in a jar, but we're just stirring today. And then I'm gonna let that sit for a few minutes while I tell you a little bit more about the kitchen. So as I mentioned before, in the kitchen, we have fun. We have lots of fun, singing, dancing, cooking. But, while we prepare for the daily service, it's important to kind of build up that creative energy and get it going and getting ready. But our head is always down working, making sure we're working on the task for the day, making sure we're being focused, making sure we're paying attention to everything around us, because in addition to being high stress, the kitchen can be a really dangerous place. You've got knives, you've got fire, you've got heavy pots, you've got boiling liquid, and you've got people that may not be having a very good day. So you have to be mindful. And in the kitchen, because we're like cogs in a machine, if our task isn't completed, then the machine kind of falls apart, which is the meal or the service. And then it doesn't go as planned, and that's never good. So as the clock ticks and the pressure builds, and then the excitement and the high energy kick in, and then we're like maybe an hour or half an hour away from service, and we are just firing because we know we got things in the refrigerator that needs to come out. We have to start prepping up some protein. We have to start finishing up dicing some onions or dicing up some carrots or something like that. And if you're not prepared, that pressure can build up so much and become frustration and angst and extra crazy stress. And regardless of whether you have your complete mise en place or you have everything together, eventually you're going to be in the weeds. That's the word in the kitchen. Don't get in the weeds. Don't get so crazy that you forget what you're doing. But because things don't go as planned, because somebody spilled the sauce that took you a whole day to prepare, because someone didn't properly store the protein that you needed for the daily special, or somebody has an argument or tempers flare, stressful situations become worse in the kitchen right before service. And you need to know in advance it's going to be stressful, it's going to be frustrating, and it's going to be painful. However, there are things that you can do to make it successful and to make it work for you. 1, have the right tools. 2, your reaction. 3, teamwork and support. 4, being creative. And 5, breathing and relaxing. As far as having the right tools, my mother would always say, a worker without good tools cannot do good work. She's not a chef, she's a teacher, a really great one. But that's another important key to life. You can't chop a 25-pound bag of onions with a dull knife. You need a good, sharp knife. Otherwise, your eyes are going to be burning, and you won't be able to see a thing when you finish it. 2, my reaction to stressful situations. A perfect quote by Dr. Hans Selye is, "It's not stress that kills us, it's our reaction to it." Everyone working in the kitchen is in the moment. They're pressured, they're rushed, and concerned about putting out something fantastic. I try not to take anything personally in the kitchen. Try. But even if for some reason I'm not having a great day, I need to kind of center myself and realize, what is it that's actually happening here? Am I really mad at this, or did something happen earlier in the day that I'm just projecting that anger or upsetness on somebody else? And if something happens I don't like, I address it at the right time. I don't address it in the middle of service because nobody's listening to me. Somebody's going to yell at me. So I wait. I wait until we have a clear time where all emotions are kind of level. And then I confront that person and say, you know what? I really didn't like that. You know, may not have been personal, but I still didn't like it. So we need to figure this out. The next is stress in the kitchen is not all bad. Stress in general is not all bad. Sometimes it gives you a boost. Sometimes it stretches you or makes you rise to the challenge and succeed. That's good stress. So all stress is not bad. 3, support and teamwork. I make sure I lend a hand when it's needed, many times without asking. That's what they teach us in culinary school. This is your team. If you see somebody struggling, you need to step in, because the next time you're struggling, you want somebody to step in and help you. It builds the team and it makes your team stronger. It also relieves the stress. Next, being creative. That's why we're here today, right? Everybody has a creative bone in your body. And whenever you're going through challenging times or a situation, you need to do some creative problem solving. It doesn't help to panic in the kitchen. You have to kind of stop and not melt down, or things could only be worse. So if you don't have an ingredient, then you need to figure out how to replace it, or you need to communicate with your staff effectively and say, listen, we don't have this. Let's just 86 is special because it's not happening today. So they can communicate to the customer so stress doesn't build even more. Next, and finally, relax. Remember, it's only food. It's vegetable, flowers, eggs, water, all things that can be replaced or substituted or thrown out if it goes bad. Thankfully, it's not someone's life, and it's not life-threatening, hopefully. So working at not stressing over the small stuff, because everything works out the way it's supposed to. Maybe it's a lesson. Maybe it's a celebration or a reflection. Or maybe what happened during that time wasn't even for you. Maybe it was for somebody else to catch and learn from, and you were just part of the orchestration. So for me, those are my kind of coping skills in stressful situations. That's kind of what I do on a daily life, throughout my daily life, just to make sure I'm being true to myself. I'm not impacting my health. I'm not impacting the health of others, because it's very important for me to stay healthy by taking care of myself so I can take care of those that I love. And stress doesn't have a place in it. I'm not saying I never get stressed. I have just learned how to kind of work with that stress. I've learned who I am. I have learned what triggers me. I know when I need to cuss myself out. And yes, that means getting in front of a mirror and actually cussing myself out like I'm my best friend, telling myself what I will and will not do, because we don't have time for that. That's what's needed. We need to talk to ourselves because we love ourselves. People always say, go into yourself to find your understanding. Yeah, go into yourself and learn who you are. When you recognize what your priorities are, who you are, what's valuable to you, things become easier. Things become a little more tolerable, and a little less stressful. So as I get into my low stress breakfast and tell you a little bit more about what I'm doing, I am finishing my chia pudding. And this was from yesterday. See that? And chia pudding is a textural thing. Some people, you got to get over the texture sometime, but it's actually really good. It's really tasty. And I'm going to add some fruit to it. So I have some blueberries that were a wonderful gift from my Mama Cindy, the biscotti lady. And I have some fresh mango that I have cut up. This is a really ripe one, and it looks like it's gonna be really good. Blueberry and mango is a lovely combination. You can add some pumpkin seeds on top of this. And you can do a lot of this, again, at night, low stress. Don't cut your mango like this because, you know, you'll have more stress. I'm a trained professional, so I can gauge where my knife is and where the fruit is. Same thing with avocados. Be careful when you cut them. So this is called the Porcupine Mango. And then you just slice the cubes right into your bowl. Make sure you don't get any skin on it. And you're kind of like filleting. Oh my gosh, this mango is so ripe. It looks really good. And there you have something that you can throw into a mason jar that you can carry with you to work. You can make it at night. The kids actually like it. You can also switch up the flavors too. You can make a Mexican chocolate. You can make a matcha flavor. You can add some other superfoods to it and have a really great time with your chia pudding. And there we have it. So I hope you all enjoy. I hope this is a little tidbit to help you or to get a peek into my world about my stress and the difference between good stress and bad stress and what it's like in the kitchen. So thank you all for your time. I appreciate you.